Hey guys, I am 31 weeks and 3 days today. And oh my gosh, I'm feeling it. I have a really short list of symptoms because I'm going to talk about my birth plan today because I made it up a couple weeks ago and sent it off to my doctor and all that. So I'll talk about that in a minute. First, my biggest symptom this week is that my belly is so heavy. It feels like I'm carrying all 40 pounds right here. Even though I'm not, it's like all over my body. But oh my gosh, my bump is so heavy. And then when I get up in the night to pee, which I have to do every night at least once now because it's painful if I hold it in. When I get out of bed, okay, I sleep on this side of the bed. And then I roll out of bed that way and everything. And then my bathroom is down there. Every time I get up, I lose my balance and start to lean really far to the left. And I haven't fallen yet, but I have to walk really slowly because if I walk really fast, I'm just going to fall over because my belly is so heavy. It just pulls me to the ground. Lately, I've just been exhausted, not from not getting sleep. I'm just tired from growing a baby. And I can just pretty much go to sleep anytime that I lay down. It's getting really hard to breathe. At work, at my job, I dictate into a speech recognition program. I use Dragon, so I'm talking all day. And sometimes I have to dictate like long run-on sentences, and I get out of breath so fast, and I'm just like, bah, ah, ah. And I have to exhale all the stale air before I can inhale again, otherwise I don't feel better. So that's happening a lot more now. Or just anytime I get excited and start talking a lot, like my lungs will start burning and I will have to like exhale and then breathe normally. It's really bizarre. And the last like symptom thing is that my ankles are starting to really hurt. With Molly, it was bottoms of my feet. Like just my whole feet hurt so bad and it was really hard to walk. This time around, now that I'm this heavy and everything, it's my ankles that hurt, especially my left ankle. It feels like my leg bones are like pushing apart because they probably are. Thankfully, I'm not really in too much pain anywhere else. My back hurts and like, everything below my boobs gets sore. And if I don't change positions enough, it gets really sore. Like napping with Molly is really nice, but then I get really uncomfortable. And then when I try to roll over, she wakes up. Well, I can't like sit on the couch and have her sleep on me. That's really painful on my tummy. So like a couple other random things, like now that I'm this big, I feel like now at work, people are just like totally, they want to talk to me. They just want to chat with me. They're like, hey, what's up? How are you? And I'm like, what the heck? You've never talked to me in your life. Now that I'm like the size of a bus, I guess I'm more approachable because I'm huge, but I don't mind answering questions. I enjoy talking to people a little. So that doesn't bother me. I think it's fun. And also, the thing I forgot about last week is that part of the reason I'm measuring so big, like fundal height-wise, is because Emerald's entire body is just really high up. Like, her head is nowhere near my pelvis. It's, like, really high up. So, naturally, the rest of her is really high up here. And Molly just walked in. Hi! So that's pretty much it for, like, my symptoms and stuff. I will do my birth plan, and then after that, I will do my other stats. Okay, I've moved out here to talk about my birth plan. So, the way the birth plan works at my hospital is they have their own that you print out and fill out. And I used theirs instead of like filling out my own because this is in a format they're familiar with, so they know where to look for all the certain parts. It's mostly just like a fill out yes or no checkboxes kind of birth plan with a couple things to write down. Anyway, the first thing, of course, is who you want to be present during your labor and delivery. And so I, of course, put my husband, and I also put my mom and my sister and my dad. That's who all four of them were there last time. My dad might not be there this time. My sister might not be there either because she might be gone because she's like going to 5 million summer camps around the time that Emerald is due. But I definitely want my mom there along with Ben. So that's at least 2 people that are going to be there. Next is water preference, and it has 3 boxes. You can have ice water, no ice water, or hot water. I like ice water, like it's not a big deal. There's a box for like cultural or religious customs. I don't have any that are like significant, so I left that blank. And then below, basically it says, other things I'd like medical staff to know about me during my hospital stay. All I wrote was, it's a girl, her name is Emerald, it's my 2nd baby, and I'm gonna try to go natural. I guess I haven't really mentioned that too much. I've thought about it a lot. I'm gonna try, only if I feel like it, only if the conditions are right. I'm going to try to do it without an epidural, but I will not hesitate to ask for one if I need one, and I trust my body that I will know if I need one, and I would probably get one so I can rest and not necessarily because of, like, that I can't do it. So, anyway, and then during labor, do I want the lights bright or dim? I said bright because I really like bright lights, especially because Molly was born in the winter and it was really dark, and so I wanted it really bright. So I will probably do the same thing this time. And then, like, there's a section for I would like to hear, and it's got like my own music, relaxation, channel on the TV, quiet as possible in the room. I put baby's heartbeat on the Doppler as a very sarcastic remark. Next is like the pain management section. There's a bunch of check boxes, so I'm just gonna put the ones that I checked. So the things I'd like to try, I would like to try the following pain management and relaxation techniques. I chose massage during labor, although, like, I never got one with Molly. I didn't really feel a need to ask for one or anything. I put birthing ball. That really helped with Molly because my feet hurt so bad. I couldn't walk when they wanted me to. Also, jacuzzi tub for relaxation. I liked that, although not as much as I thought I would, so whatever. I don't really care. And then for pain medication, there's like 4 options. There's like, don't offer me any. There's, I'll decide if I get there, or when I get there, if I want one or not. And then there's one that's, I want an epidural, and I'll get disappointed if I don't have one. I, of course, checked the, I will decide on the medication or epidural as labor progresses, because that's kind of how it's gonna go. And then there's like just an other. And then, for the IV, you can have the option of, do you want a lock in case you need medication, or do you want constant IV fluids? I checked them both because I would like fluid, but not the entire time that I'm there. And then special concerns during my labor, I wrote, I want a shower room this time because I didn't find the bath helpful at all. And then I wrote, if I feel it, no epidural, I'll know if I need one. And then I wrote, Pitocin equals 100% epidural. That's the only, like, for sure I will get an epidural is if I am induced at all with Pitocin. That's actually why I got an epidural with Molly, because they did have to induce me a little bit because of a bunch of choices that I made. I got there too early, they broke my water already, and then my contractions slowed down because I was tired. So yeah. She's dancing. Anyway, so that's like the labor section. Here's the birth section. So, first it says, when it comes time to push, and there's 3 boxes, I'd like to push instinctively, I'd like to be coached on when to push, or I'd like to be allowed to progress free of time limits. I selected the instinctively and the allowed to progress free of time limits, because this is a really low risk. This pregnancy is, like, identical to Molly's, so it'll probably go just fine. I mean, obviously, if I need help, I'll get it, but I didn't need any help at all when I pushed Molly out. They didn't do any practice, anything. They were just push, and I was like, okay. I just knew how to push because I've seen so many births on YouTube, and I did it correctly, so they didn't have to do anything. And then, here's the one that I'm really interested in. It's, I'd like to try the following positions. I've had this dream. I saw a picture in a textbook. I don't know where it was. I don't know what grade I was in. I don't know what classroom I was in. I have no clue, but there was a picture of a woman giving birth. Her baby's head was out, and she was on her hands and knees. And I saw that picture, and I had no idea you could deliver in any position other than on your back. And I said, I want to do that someday. Like, that's a huge dream of mine, is to push my baby out on my hands and knees. I don't know if that'll actually happen, because it might not even be comfortable. But I couldn't do it with Molly because I had an epidural, and I was like, maybe this much disappointed, but I really didn't care. But if I do it without an epidural, that's definitely the position I would like to push in. Also, I'd like to try squatting and whatever feels right at the time. So we'll see what actually happens. I have no clue what's going to happen. And then there's a section for, like, if I have a C-section and I'm awake, I would like, and I checked all of them, my partner to be present, the screen to be lowered so I can see my baby being delivered, the baby to be given to my partner as soon as possible, and to breastfeed in the recovery room. So, yeah. Pretty straightforward. And then if the conditions allow, I would like the cord to be cut by, I actually put down my sister, because I think it would be cool for my sister to cut the cord. And I wrote that she might need some help, because I don't think she'll squeeze hard enough, because cords are actually really hard to cut. I've never cut one, I just heard people say that. But obviously, if it's not her, it'll be Ben. It was Ben last time, so I barely remember it. I just remember him reaching over and cutting the cord. I was too busy trying to figure out who Molly looked like to care. And then special concerns during the birth of my baby, and I also wrote if I feel like it, no epidural, and then hands and knees, delivery if I can. And then following delivery, so here's the postpartum stuff. So caring for baby, there's two options. One is I'd like my baby with me at all times, and the other is I'd like the nurses to take the baby occasionally. There's no nursery at this hospital. The baby is just by default is in your room all the time unless you like ask for them to be removed. They're only removed, there's like 2 tests they do when they're a certain number of hours old that they remove them and take them to a nursing station, but there's no nursery with like 20 babies sitting there. So if I am tired, I will ask the nurse to dote on my baby for a while. They love doing that. When I was in labor with Molly, I walked all over the hospital floor, and the nurses station, there's always like nurses, and they're always holding little newborns, and they have so much fun. They really like it, so I'd be happy to do that for them. And then for feeding my baby, there's a section it's like breastfeed or formula. I said breastfeed, of course. And then there's also a checkbox for, like, if you're breastfeeding and you don't want your baby to have a pacifier or a bottle or formula or anything, you can check that, but I don't really care. And then another drinking water preference. Do I want ice water, no ice water, or hot water? And I said ice water. It's my favorite. Actually, one of the nurses, when I was in labor with Molly, went back and mixed all of the available beverages together in one big mega drink. Like, it was cranberry, apple, orange, and Sprite juice together. And it was really good, so I think I might ask them to do that again. And then eating preferences, like, the checkboxes are either, like, I'd like to order from the menu, or I'd like my family friends to bring in food, or I'll make my decision later. And I said later, because I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'll probably get some of my favorite pizza. And then, do you have any special requests for the placenta after the medical evaluation? This is the part where I'm the most sarcastic, because I have zero interest in eating my placenta at all. I don't have a problem with people that do, but just thinking about the placenta makes me feel nauseous. I do not wax poetic about how cool the placenta is. And so I don't want to see it, touch it, smell it, send it to pathology and be done with it. And when my midwife saw that, she laughed so hard, she said she was going to frame it on her wall because it was so funny. So Molly's, by the way, said, no, medical waste, yuck. Because ew, it's just gross to me. And then special concerns after the birth of my baby. This is where I put, I'd like more time to get up since last time my blood pressure was 80/60 and I fainted. That was actually like the suggestion of my midwife. And I actually didn't realize this until she told me, but it's, I probably passed out from the epidural and not because I lost a lot of fluid, which I didn't realize. I was like, oh, duh, any anesthetic will make your blood pressure drop, so mine's already really low. So it dropped a lot, so I said I want more time to get up. And then I said, please do give my baby a pacifier. And my midwife said they actually don't have pacifiers there, so I'll bring my own, it's not a big deal. And if I deliver on my back, so epidural, hold her up so I can see her. If I push my hands and knees, obviously they're not going to hold her up, they're just going to pass her to me. But if I'm in any position where I'm like on my side or whatever, I want them to hold her up so I can see what she looks like before they hand her to me, just because I want to see her in her entirety. So that's all for my birth plan. It's really simple, really straightforward. Every nurse that walked in the room, every doctor, anyone that walked in the room when I was pregnant or when I was in labor with Molly had a copy, like, in their hand. And so I knew they read it, and they were all laughing because they read it. It was really sarcastic. And they finished right on time, so I will get to everything else. Bye. Okay, here's from the front and the side. And this side, it's really itchy. So yeah, here's from the side and the front. And the other side, it's starting to like do the whole like fold right here thing. Because it's so big and so heavy. Okay, my weight is 194.2. It was like 190 last week. It's actually staying pretty consistent around 192, which I'm hoping it'll stay there. I don't want to hit 200. And my waist is 46 1/4. So we're getting there. It's getting big, getting huge. Okay, so that's pretty much it for week 31. I will talk to you guys for week 32, and then it will be 8-8, where I'm 8 months pregnant and 8 weeks to go. Bye.